Should I review this one? I don't know if I should review this one. Hell yeah, I'm reviewing it. Toxic white male alert. Boo-doo, boo-doo. And welcome back to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button. What we talk about is the news and reviews of our favorite sci-fi and fantasy. So if you like it, please hit that bell to notify you on all my videos that come up. And let's get to the review. This is a review of Watchmen, Season 1, Episode 6, The Extraordinary Being. Wow. This was an episode. Let me just say that. Let's just kind of run through it real quick. So it starts off where we left off last week. Actually, it starts off with the show American Hero. And you got Hooded Justice, which the show is about. So it's a show within the show. And Hooded Justice is being interrogated by two FBI agents. And they tell him, we know you're gay. We know you've been banging Captain Metropolis. And he's also been banging other guys. One that kind of looks like J. Edgar Hoover, but it isn't J. Edgar Hoover. But we need those photos so we can destroy him. So they want to take a picture of him, Hooded Justice. And when he gets those photos, they'll destroy the footage. So Hooded Justice rips off his hood and all his white glory. And they go to take the picture and boom, cracks the dude in the camera, blows his face up. And it's just chaos till he kills those guys. Bloody, extravagant, fantastic. So then we jump back to the precinct and all these police officers are watching the show, and Agent Blake says, let's get back to work, as she walks through to where Angela is being held. Angela is ingested all that nostalgia pills. If you don't remember what the nostalgia pills are, those are pills that we get a little more explanation on them. Lady True made. Now, Lady True's company made these nostalgia pills. There's a chip, I believe, or something that actually enters your brain, takes pieces of your memory and puts them into these pills. And they were supposed to be for people with dementia and Alzheimer's so they can remember their thoughts and remember who they are. Turned out, rich people started abusing them and living in their past and ODing, so they outlawed them. So we get back to where Angela is, and they're like, you got to sign this release so we can pump your stomach or you're going to go into a coma. Well, she doesn't sign the release, and boom, now we're in Reeves' life. Reeves is now standing on stage. He's going to become a police officer. So he's actually they're being pinned with their badge, the best of the best. So he's the only black gentleman on stage. You see the chief walking by, pinning on the badges to every officer. Guess what? He skips him because why? Because he's a black man. And the only person that would pin it on him is another black man who's a lieutenant who actually was a big inspiration to Reeves. And he warns Reeves, beware of the Cyclops eye. Okay. What is that? We don't know yet. So now Reeves, there's a young black woman in the front row, and Reeves meets up with her for dinner. Now you're seeing Reeves, the male actor who plays Reeves, who did a great job. But every once in a while, Angela would come in as Reeves, speaking as Reeves, and then like someone would walk by and it's back to Reeves. So she's living these memories as they're her own, which you're not supposed to take anybody else's memories. So she's living the memories. She's talking to this, he's talking to this girl and they're talking about, let's go out. And she's like, you're just too angry. I've known you for a long time. All this anger you have inside you. And he's like, I don't got any anger, but I mean, he saw his parent. Well, he saw the massacre in Tulsa. And that's what she's like. You saw the devastation from that. Why aren't, what scares me is you don't say you're angry. So now he's on the beat. He's on the beat, walking around, talks to an immigrant white male, who is probably the only white male in this episode that actually isn't either a straight out racist or a wussy. Okay. So he's talking to him, and then across the street, there's this fat white freaking New Yorker throwing a Molotov cocktail at a Jewish delicatessen. So he goes to arrest him. This guy's talking crap to him the whole time, brings him into the precinct. He's going to book him. He's like, the gentleman is like, you're going to allow this excuse my language, spook to arrest me, a good white man who's done nothing. And three cops, white cops walk up. One says, don't you talk, you apologize to one of our officers. And he does. And the white people, instead of the person who arrested him, booking him, the white officers take him away. Go to figure, they release him. We find that out a little later. So now Hooded Justice, or excuse me, Reeves is, I just blew that up. Reeves now is walking the beat. I might be skipping stuff, but really don't care anymore because I can't stand this show. He is walking the beat and sees that guy. He bumps him actually. And he's like, hey, and the guy turns around. He's like, oh, sorry, officer. And boom, goes into the precinct. Why did you guys let this guy go? Now, this is the only other white male that is not straight out racist, the booking agent or the booking cop or the cop at the front desk. And he's trying to warn Reeves, like, let it go. They took care of it. He's like, I'm trying to help you. He's too much of a coward to do anything about it, but he is trying to help Reeves. Reeves gets pissed and leaves. While the other cops are like, drive up along Reeves as he's walking home. And they're like, hey, come have a drink with us. You don't want to get in a car with three racists. You already know they're racist. And he's like, I got an early shift. They're like, all right, well, maybe another time. And they drive away. Now, it's all in black and white, except for when the memories are getting mixed with other memories. And those police officers were dragging two dead bodies, but those two dead bodies of African-American or people of color, I didn't even know we can call people of color again. I mean, it just switches all the time. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but I guess we say people of color again. So people of color behind, but it's from the Tulsa massacre many years before. This is taking place in the 30s. That was in the early aughts, the teens maybe. But he's, that's the problem with taking these pills. She's seeing bits and pieces of different things. Keep seeing Reeves' mother playing the piano where she played at that movie theater. So he goes down an alley while the cops, boom, pull up, beat him down, take him to the tree, which I believe is the same tree Judd got hung on, and string him up, put a hood on him, tie him with rope, put the noose around his neck. He's right about to be choked out and dead, and they let him go and say, next time we will kill you. So he's walking home with this, holding the hood and the rope around his neck, and he's just angry, just furious. And there's a white woman and a white man. The woman's about to get raped. The man is getting held back while these three guys, guy goes to rape his woman. Well, he rips holes in the eyes, puts the hood on, goes and beats the crap out of the assailants. They thank him. And in the news, you find out that those people reported that their savior, wore a hood, and if it wasn't for him, they'd be dead. So Reeves decides, goes to that woman, that girl, the person of color that was in the front row. She was a reporter, that I am angry. What do we do about it? And he forms Hooded Justice, but he uses whiteface, I guess you would call it, so that people won't know in gloves and, that he's a black man. They would see the white and would think he's a white man. So, he's going around doing his thing for a few years. She gets pregnant. They have a kid. I believe this is about the same time. A gentleman walks in, tall, blonde-haired man, and is like, we're looking for the Hooded Justice. Captain Metropolis wants to start a group, the Minutemen, which is in the book. And they just look at each other like, ooh, real quick. And he's like, you're the cop that knows where to find Hooded Justice. And here's my card. The wife figures out, because she's the smartest one in this freaking thing, that he's Captain Metropolis. He won't admit to it. So he slides it over to him. They touch fingers. Next scene, Hooded Justice is banging that dude from behind. And it seems like they've been banging for a little while. So there's no implying they're gay. Like in the graphic novel, it's just straight out, boom, let's do this. No build up, no nothing. It's just straight up, you don't know, no nuance to it. It's just, they're gay. And he's cheating on his wife and a child, what an ass, but whatever. So long story short, he joins the Minutemen and he wants to prove that there is a conspiracy with this Cyclops. And, he starts to talk about it at a press conference where they introduce him as part of the Minutemen, and they blur out the people in the back, so you can't tell who's the comedian, who's Silk Spectre. You can't tell any of that. This is the original super group, in this universe. And when he's about to say, there's this plan to that's in this city, Captain Metropolis takes over and is like, and he's creating a laser beam, but why don't you buy your stuff from this bank? So they don't want to release that info, but we see that years go by and he finally figures out what's going on. He has to go, he gets called to a scene in Harlem at a movie theater where all these black people just went savage on each other. And every cop you walk by is racist. I mean, every single one, the savages, they're savages, this and that. And he gets in there and he sees somebody leaving with the movie reel and projector. So he follows them to a warehouse where he sees that guy who destroyed the delicatessen, and the guy doesn't even realize who he is. I mean, it has been years and he's a racist, so go figure. So he's like, oh, that's your warehouse? And he's like, yeah. And he shoots him, and he walks into the warehouse, kills all the cops that are in there, and he realizes that they're putting subliminal messaging in these reels. Right before this, before the white guy, he kills him, excuse me, this is another big part. He's on the phone calling Captain Metropolis, his lover for years now, that I finally figured it out. I need you down here. And what happens? Another white male letting him down. So back to where he was, he killed everybody, took one of the reels with him, gets home, and his wife's like, I thought this would help you. I thought you loved me. And there's a scene prior where she's like, tell me the first time you met me. And it goes back to when he was a little boy. They showed us this scene before where after everyone dies at the Tulsa massacre, he finds that baby. Well, she's that baby. And she's like, me and the boy, we're leaving you. We're going back to Tulsa. And they leave him. And I think that's where we end. Oh, no. And then we get the one more vision about him stringing up Judd. It shows how he killed him. And he used technology like that reel, but hand side freaking light, and kills Judd that way. So doesn't even give Judd a chance to explain why he had he said it was his grandfather's KKK outfit, and that he's not that type of man, but Lou Gossett didn't care. He made him hang himself. So every single white person in this episode sucked. It's too much. I don't know. I feel like this is just in your face, boom, and I can't report on it because I try to empathize, I try to understand, but this was just not one white person did anything good in this. Not one. How do I relate to that? How do I even understand it? I like to watch shows like this, but not one person wanted to be true to him and good to him. So I don't know. So this might be my last one, but I wanted to make it because I am confused. I need help. Please leave comments below. And remember, if they start calling you names, run and hide, I guess now. I don't even know what to tell you. Have a good one, everybody.